Peace, love, and lights. And I want to say that you never know how bad it was until you've healed something that you didn't know needed healing. Meaning, you could be working on yourself, you could be like healing different parts of yourself, but along your journey, you realize, like, wow, this wasn't working. Like, the whole time I thought this was working, because you weren't paying attention to whatever it was that needed to be healing, and you realize when it starts working again, like, wow, like this whole time it wasn't working, and I didn't know that it wasn't working, and I didn't acknowledge that it wasn't working, and I wasn't aware that it wasn't working. But now that I know that it's working, I'm thankful, but I didn't know it was broken like the whole time that it was broken. And now that it's healed, you can get the full benefits of it. You can get what you were missing out of whatever it is that needed to be healed one on one. And you do become one with yourself when you start to get those missing pieces back. When you start to understand that healing is not just something like we think of healing like as I have to sneeze or I have a cough, and we don't realize like different parts of us are missing, like different parts of the whole being that is bigger than, like, a common cold. Like, it's stuff about us that's so dynamic, that's so vast, that's so bountiful, that's so full that we don't understand that when there's like this when there's one piece missing, we may not notice it right away, but that piece is still missing. And since that piece is missing and we're not aware of it, when it comes back, we read it like a old friend, or just like the missing piece to the puzzle that was always there. That was kind of like, it may have been like, how you do a puzzle and all the pieces are scattered and you start to get to like the end of the puzzle, but that one piece may have been like, under the box, and you're looking at the picture to, like, kind of like emulate the picture while you're putting the puzzle together, but it's like under the box, and you don't realize that it's under the box. And once you move the box and you see that that one piece that you've been looking for all this whole time has always been there, you start to, kind of celebrate. You start to feel better. You start to rejoice. You start to just notice that while you're putting together this masterpiece, even if it is just like a puzzle that you got out the box, while you're putting together this masterpiece, you realize that it's a great thing. But once you get to, like, really starting to heal, because at the same time we're still talking about healing. Once you really start getting to heal and you realize that, this is a masterpiece, but there's still something missing, and you can't really figure out what it is. 333, when you figure out what it is and you find out what it is and you put that piece into that masterpiece, and into the bigger masterpiece, then you realize that, wow, this was the missing piece, and now it's like, I don't want to say complete, because I think it's still a journey. I think it's still um um parts to your journey that you still have to go on. Like, healing is a continuous thing. Excuse me. It's not an overnight thing. That's one thing that I've learned throughout my journey, throughout this whole year. Healing is not an overnight thing. I had such a bad misconception about healing, and was expecting like immediate results, but the joy, the appreciation is in the journey. Like, you really start to appreciate it along your journey. You really start to understand that it's bigger than just like healing the surface things. When you get to healing stuff beneath the surface, you really start to feel it on a different level, and it's more 444. It's more impactful. It's more I don't know, like, I just you just have to really like get into healing, like, in the and the healing work. And whether it's light work, whether it's shadow work, you have to understand that it's about balance, and healing is holistic. And something else I learned about healing is that it'll take you on a journey. Like, I think I said this before in the video, but it'll take you on a journey. You may start like healing one thing, and then you'll start getting callings to heal other things in other ways that you had never thought about before. And you may not even realize that it's healing at first. You may just think it's like just something regular that you like to do. Like, so many things that I like to do and love to do now are things that actually heal me, but they also appeal to like my inner child. They make me happy on the inside. They heal parts of me that make me a better person than I was, because the person that I was didn't really understand how he was the problem sometimes, and how he was creating the problem sometimes. And now he understands that this could create a problem, and he understands when and how to stand back and really observe and see how he's creating the problem, and how he could be a solution, or how he can avoid, or not necessarily avoid, because isn't the right word, how you can prevent the problem from happening. And the reason why I say avoid is the wrong word is because avoiding something doesn't necessarily mean you're stopping it. It just means you're not taking action. When you prevent something, you stop it from happening altogether. So that's why I chose the word prevent instead of avoid. But healing is bigger and deeper than just like surface level. Like, it's not a 5 second thing. You don't get it from one session of yoga. You don't get it from one session of sound healing. You don't even get it from one session of breath work. You don't get it from 5 seconds of looking at the sun. You don't get it from drinking. You don't get it from fasting for a week or nothing like that. You don't get it from any of that. It's all the things that I mentioned, of course, and more combined that actually heal you, because there's different parts of you that need to heal. And you have to understand that you're a whole being, and your whole being is not something that just takes in information one way, because we've been taught that we take in information one way, but we take in information always, and we have to heal ourselves on those levels. And that's what it really means to be like a holistic healer, or rather someone that heals holistically, because you take in energies different ways. And since you take in energies different ways, you have to heal those energies on their proper level. You have to heal those energies where you have to meet them where they're at. And if you have negative or bad vibrations that you need to heal, you need to do some sound healing, and you need to do some like vocal toning to get those vibrations going like in a more harmonious way, to make you feel better, because vibrations actually affect your overall state of being, and like it affects how you talk to people, how you talk to yourself, even like your internal dialogue. Like the vibrations can affect you when you're not actually saying anything, when you're actually listening to your thoughts. The vibrations that you listen to can change based on the healing that you do. But you have to be willing to do the work, and you have to really be one to show up for yourself, and really understand that you are showing up for you. No one else can heal you for you. You can go to a healer, and they can help you, like as far as like guiding you in the right direction from what they know about healing, but they can't heal you from anything that's greater than you, because you are the source of the issue, and you are the solution as well. Like it all exists with inside of you, but they help you to kind of like figure that out. But I don't want to bash any type of healers, because I don't know every healer, but you are the source of all that, and what their job is essentially to do is to guide you back to yourself. And when I say guide you back to yourself, it guides you back to the understanding that you are a whole being, and the whole being is what heals, is what causes you to be healed. Being connected to the whole being, because when you're not in a state of healed or healing, you are broken. You are cut off in different parts of yourself, and different parts of yourself like communicate, but they don't communicate the way they should if or the way they would if you were one. You are basically divided, and being divided, certain parts of your body communicate with each other on a regular basis because maybe that's what you use, on an everyday basis, or that's something that you kind of like subconsciously choose not to use on an everyday basis, and there's a connection there, but it may not be a good connection, and the energy behind it may be like bad because that's not something that you want to use on a daily basis, but the energy still exists. But at the same time, you have to be aware that you are a whole being, and when you are not in a state of, well, when you're in a state of sickness, 1111, you are not whole. You're not communicating well, and your body's not communicating well. Like if you have a communication problem with people outside of you, then you have a communication problem inside of you as well. Like one of the things today that I noticed, like about myself, well, and it's something I've been saying for a while. One of the things that I really appreciate is being connected to my community, but also being connected to myself. And today I had an opportunity to like connect to people who didn't know each other, so they could so their energies could meet, and their energies could do whatever they're meant to do. And in connecting their energies, it could turn into something even better. And these I don't even know the other guy that I connected one of my former coworkers to, but I know that my coworker has a similar vision to us, or has a similar vision and a similar view as the person that I connected him with. But I just knew him from like Instagram, and in knowing him from Instagram, I chose to make that connection and to help them meet each other. And it may turn into something, it may not turn into anything. Even though my coworker was former coworker was very ecstatic, very excited that I introduced him to the person that I introduced him to, or connected him with the person that I connected him with. It may not turn into anything, but the purpose was to kind of like be a connector with two different energies. So that's like something that's going on internally and something that's going on externally within myself, because the energy within inside of myself is connecting. Love is connecting to light, and light is connected to love. Time is connected to space, and space is connected to time. Since all these things are connecting within myself, I can be a better facilitator of such energies, and in being a facilitator of such energies, I'm helping other things connecting with inside of myself, and things connecting outside of myself, and it helps everything around me, because if the people around me are happy, then I can be happy too as well, because it just brings about positive energy. It just brings more positive energy around me, and it connects me to even more people. Even though that's not necessarily my goal to just like focus on unnecessarily connecting with people in that way, like being that intentional. Even though there's nothing wrong with being intentional. Like I'm a fan of organic connections. I really am, and I really like the idea of connecting with people in an organic way. But and not even but something I've learned, something I've learned at the studio. I forgot. Just like quick. I'm a fan of organic connections, and something I've learned is the energy is different when you are connected to people who are actually interested in things that you're interested in, who love the things that you love, who like the things that you like, and do the things that you do. When you meet people who are into things that you're into, who speak the same language as you, have similar interests as you, the energy is totally different than people that you meet and you kind of like have to be around them. So you make connections. And then I have to say it this way: you force connections to be made that don't necessarily feel good all the time. Feel good because it's associated with something that you don't really want to do, or something that you're not really connected to, or something that you don't really enjoy. I used to connect to people all the time through my job, and I stopped doing it so much because I noticed that the energy would be different, and we wouldn't talk about, or we wouldn't be interested in the same things, and they wouldn't understand me. And I keep on seeing 11. I'm making a video about that in a minute, but you, we wouldn't be interested in the same things, and they would just oftentimes think that I'm weird, but I just have different interests in them, and it's something that I had to really let go of because you can't connect to somebody that doesn't get your energy, or they don't accept your energy fully, and they're not really willing to understand your energy. They just meet you at where they think your energy is at, not where it actually is. If they don't meet you where your energy actually is, then they're not meeting you. They're meeting the representatives of you. And the representatives of you may be good representations of you, but that's not the full you. And if they know that the full you is something that they consider weird, then it's not something that they really want to be around. And it's kind of like an unsaid thing that both of you experience. And you experience it in ways that are conscious and subconscious. Even if you do accept them for who they are, and they accept the parts of you that they think you are, even though you can show them that you're more, and they don't necessarily inquire about the more, or you feel that they don't necessarily inquire about the more, then it's not a good connection. I hope that makes sense. And I want to add to that, people meet you where they're at. Meaning they have their own issues going on as well. Nobody is 100% themselves. Unless they done like healing work, and they've started to become more of themselves. But once they start to do the healing work, then they become more of themselves. But if they haven't done like healing work, and you know that they have like different traumas, don't judge them, and even if you don't know that, don't take anything personal. That's something that I had to learn the hard way. Don't take anything personal because it's really not personal. It's really about them in the first place. They may be holding on to an energy that was created while you two were around, but that doesn't necessarily mean that it's about you. It's about something that they're holding on to that may not even be about the energy that that was created when they were around you. It's just something that they haven't said to you that they really want to say to you, but they don't know how to say it to you. So it's like they're holding on to energy that they don't either want to give to you, or they don't want to, or they haven't yet given to you. But you have to meet them where they're at. So I don't hold any like negative feelings towards anyone for any reason, because I understand that for one, it's not personal, and healing does come in time. So like when any person, regardless of who they are, is ready, I'm always gonna be here, willing to have whatever discussion, really to release whatever energy needs to be released, because I know that it's energy being held on to that it'll take time for them to really deal with and really to understand before they have the conversation with me, or before we can clear that energy. So I take nothing personal from anybody. Like, I had a really, really great day. I'm really thankful for everything that has happened in my day. I'm really thankful for the things that have happened in the past few days, the past week, this past month, this entire year. Like, I don't even look at any of the stuff that's happened to me as necessarily good or bad. All of it has had lessons, and all of the lessons have been drastically different, but all appreciated because they've shown me different parts of myself, and they will continuously show me different parts of myself. Like, I've had some really, really interesting things happen to me during this year that I can't even really begin to tell anyone, but I probably will, because I don't see any reason in holding anything back in that regard. But it's just stuff that's happened to me that I don't know how other people would have reacted in this situation. Like, I don't know how I would have reacted in this situation if I hadn't learned that everything happens for a reason is not just something that people say. Like, everything literally happens for a reason. But also, if I hadn't learned the idea of really believing in myself and really having the connection with myself, because believing in yourself and having a connection with yourself takes you a long way. I'm really into snapping right now. It takes you a long way, like, and that's not something that I'm making up. It's something that you really have to get the understanding of through actually doing the work of connecting with yourself, checking in with yourself, taking accountability for your actions, good or bad. Two. Everything that you taking accountability for your actions, good or bad. But and really being there for yourself, telling yourself that you love yourself, I love you, and showing yourself that you love yourself, and it will change your entire world. You have to start with gratitude. Starting with gratitude will lead you so far, so far. Um, I started kind of preaching a little bit, I think, but I don't know if that's preaching, but I just want to really come. I really want to just talk about healing, but so many other things happening when you're sharing information, or you're sharing something that's really near and dear to your heart, something that you really feel within your heart, like your own personal truth. When you start sharing your own personal truth, it really shows, like, even through the screen. I'm pretty sure anyone watching this can feel it. Like, it really comes through the screen, and you start to really understand that it's more than just you talking. Like, when you really feel what you're saying, it hits on a different level. And I really hope that anyone watching this will come to the realization that that's a very real thing. And with that being said, I love you, and I hope that you have a great day.